conversation from last night because I had some really wild shit to say. So maybe I'm gonna start like publishing like just like some like random like Discord bullshit that I've recorded. Just because. I'm this next week. I'm gonna get the video of Roman's first impressions of Nukitashi out.
Oh Jesus.
But it's been busy, so it was kind of a mediocre week until like yesterday and today. I basically watched a bunch of leftists on the internet tell a guy to keep himself safe because he was cheated on by his fiance. His fiance basically cheated on him with his best friend, and his whole friend circle just like up and abandoned him after that. So he was like, yeah, I almost drank myself to death, and someone put it in a wellness call, and an officer came by and stopped me. Posted it on Twitter, and everyone in the comments is like, good, you deserve it, you fucker, you support ICE.
You know, but we're the intolerant ones.
Yeah, it's completely tanked my faith in humanity because I'm sitting here like looking at some of like the most awful, horrendous stuff being said about people, like people like genuinely celebrating someone like contemplating ending their existence, putting themselves in the forever box and all of that. And I'm just like, we should unplug the internet before Claude AI becomes sentient and turns into Skynet. And also because human beings have devolved to the point where the moment you're in an out group, it is kill that motherfucker now because he doesn't agree with me.
Absolutely.
And that's not a Partisan thing there.
No, not at all. That's bipartisan. But
I'm just saying that in this case, it's a bunch of anti-ICE people telling a guy to go kill himself.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be happening.
Sorry, I forgot. We're only about 35 minutes into this. I shouldn't have said that.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't listen. YouTube, if you have a problem with that, if you have a problem with us saying that that's wrong, be my guest. Because we're saying that that's wrong.
So yeah, I've been in a piss poor mood all day because we came across this stuff last night. I saw a couple of posts about it because I woke up in the middle of the night for whatever divinely inspired reason, and just decided to scroll through and see some things, and saw some things while I was awake.
That's why you responded to me really late at night. Makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I was posting shit at like 2 a.m.
Don't worry, I've also been in a bad mood for the whole day, probably for a completely different reason than you, but I'm
not feeling extra silly today, but you know what, I'll try.
Well, it's interesting.
That's all right,
because I've been watching a lot of the interviews that are going on recently, between certain people politically and whatnot. But more often than not, I genuinely like to watch like a lot of Piers Morgan. I like to see what they have to say on there because it is uncensored for the most part. And you're getting stuff from all across the aisles of just how people think. There's no agenda, really. That's been really, really interesting the past couple months, especially with the files and everything like that. And ICE and whatnot. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, I'm never going to walk up to any firefighter, EMT, police officer, military, or ICE agent and go, "What are you doing here? You can't do that." Self-preservation is something, and Darwinism is something. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Don't be stupid. Don't stop people from doing their jobs. Stop people from doing their. If you want to protest about it, protest about it the right way. That's all I'm saying. Be less loss of life. Be less problems, and there'll be less division. But what do they want? Division.
I mean, if they successfully divide people, then we all seem to forget.
I think they have. What are you talking about? They have successfully divided people.
Well, it's
prove me wrong.
It's kind of like they say in the Hunger Games. Don't forget who the real enemy is. They have all of us plebs all fighting each other.
Don't forget who the real enemy is. Be very careful with that line, because depending on who is on the panel, you will get different responses.
Yeah, and also depending on...
I'm just saying, don't ask Cammy or Pilgrim who the real enemy is.
I know they're...
That's true. But no, in all seriousness though, it's
do they run a lot of banks?
I mean, at least in my eyes, it's the Uniparty. That's my view.
Yeah, so basically just the U.S. government in general.
Essentially, sure, yeah.
It's just the governments in general.
Well, there's that, but as far as like we're talking about, it's not. I would not limit it specifically to just politicians when we're talking about the government, because lobbyists exist. Lobbyists exist, and
actually, they're probably more so the bigger problem. Actually,
they are.
I would say that lobbying is one of the huge problems, especially because of the political turnover. Do you know, Roman, that a lot of politicians retire and become lobbyists?
Yep. When I was still in college, that was one of my courses. Was they literally teach you about like there's a whole class about how 80% of people that turn into lobbyists were like once politicians, because it's an easy path. A lot of them lose their elections but still want to be a part of politics, so they turn into lobbyists, so they can still get their policies passed, but they're not in office. They just turn into lobbyists to get other politicians to pass their policies through. It's one of the most corrupt forms of playing the game, as you will. And to me, if I ever get true serious power, this will probably get me they'll try to delete my Minecraft server for
pack
this one,
you up in the forever box.
But I am banning lobbying and lobbyists with my first act of power. If I ever get power, that's what I am doing, because
the issue is I don't think. Well, let's just assume like you're talking about the president, right? Like you become president of the United States. I don't think the executive has the authority to do that. That's the big issue. That's something that's going to have to run through Congress. And of course, Congress isn't going to want to, sacrifice everyone who's pouring money into their fucking coffers.
Sure, but I'm just saying. Okay, let's think about it from like a state level. Like, say that I become like a state senator in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, we have our own set of lobbying here. Like, if I ever got power here, I would try to ban lobbying here. You have to start small. But what I'm saying is that to me, the reason that we're in such this vacuous mess that we're in now is literally due to the lobbies in Washington. Like it's so crazy, the fact that, and like I'm not saying that like the people accept it, but there's not more talk about it though. Like I don't think that people know, a lot of people, like that there's so many lobbyists out there, because people don't delve deep into politics. They just vote every like 4 years.
Wait a minute, here's the difference. People around our generation and younger than us do not delve into that stuff. Everybody else knows about it. But the problem being is that we have this mindset that daddy or mommy government is going to constantly always have our best interests in heart and always take care of us, because these kids grew up in a time where they literally said, do nothing, we'll take care of you. They didn't have to go to school. They didn't have to do any work. They didn't have to do anything, and the government gave them stimulus checks. And a vaccine. Here you go. You're all good. Daddy government's got your back. That's why they don't vote, bro. They don't have to. They don't care. It's mind-boggling to me. Yet they will go to the No Kings protests. It's like insanity, dude. Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. You're literally voting on topics. Either you're voting on topics you don't even understand because somebody on TikTok told you to vote that way, or you're not voting at all because you think your vote doesn't matter, which it does, especially in your local constituency. It very much matters. But these people, the people you're talking about, Roman, are the exact people that just want daddy government to come in and do everything for them. Which is why you see so many of these people around our age and or younger with like almost not socialistic, communistic beliefs. You know how many girls I've say, like, I'm going to start a farm, and like me and all my friends are going to live on a farm. We're all going to work together. And I'm like, so you're going to start a commune? Yeah, we're going to start a commune. And how's that going to work? Well, I don't know. We'll all just work together. Are you sure? What about when someone gets lazy? Who's going to pay for it in the beginning to buy out the land? All of you or one of you? Like, I had this conversation with my ex-girlfriend because she wanted to have a fucking farm and invite a ton of different people to live on a farm. And I'm like, I'm going to start a fucking commune. At that point, I might as well start worshiping Zorbu. Become a freaking Scientologist. Like,
well, here's my I guess then here's my rebuttal to that. You say that a lot of people like our age and younger are they are more favorable to socialist and or communist policies. Have
They
you
are.
ever have you have you ever thought that maybe it's because they just don't view this current state of capitalism that we have now as acceptable to thrive and live in this country?
I actually have thought about that. And here's the thing, Roman.
I don't necessarily think it's a capitalism issue. I just think it's a general corruption issue. That
Indeed.
no matter which system you implement, if you don't gut the corruption going on right now, it's still going to be a problem.
Yeah, so to answer that question, though, that specific question about
we used to tar and feather politicians who do the stuff they get away with today, just so it's clear.
That's exactly right, Crimson. That's exactly right. Now, Roman.
Quesitas waves.
Your exact question was, do I think that socialism or what was the other? Communism would be comparable to the capitalism we have now? What was the question?
No, so what I asked you was, do you think that people that are our age or younger are gravitating towards socialism and or communism because they view what our country acts as kind of what many would consider to be like a post-capitalist society.
So
where,
here's
like,
okay, I get what you're saying. So here's the thing. I don't think they even know what socialism means. I want you to do a student check for me. Do a check on the people you work with that are under the age of 18 and ask them to describe socialism. And also ask them to describe capitalism and then ask them to describe communism and come back to me next week and see if they even know what the fuck they're talking about. Because most of the people that I talk to, especially one of the kids that I work with, because I did that, they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. What they're really mad about is the way that the economy is going. It has nothing to do with capitalism. Capitalism plays a hand in it, but the economy on its own, not capitalism. None of them can provide for me a reason why socialism or communism is better. And you don't have another country in the world that's doing fantabulastic just because they went to socialism or communism. You don't.
Sweden.
And my point here, Roman, the crux of my point is that these people that are extremely uneducated are the ones that are out here telling you all this information. They're just listening to TikTok. That's literally it. They're not you, bro. They're not you. You're an outlier. They're not you. Most of the people in our generation, you can agree with me on this because we've talked about it, are retarded. Most of the people in my generation don't vote. How many times have we been at a fire and you and I have actually argued, even though that you and I sit on opposite sides? Not even opposite, just sit on different sides. Like I'm in the middle, you're more left. The thing is, how many times have you and I told people at our fires fucking vote and they just go, no, it doesn't matter? Like it fucking matters. Like there's been so many times that you and I have had this conversation with friends on both sides of the aisle. The people are retarded.
But the people are retarded.
Yes, exactly what I was getting at there, Crimson. That's the crux of my point, is that people don't do these things because they're uneducated. And they refuse to be educated because daddy government's going to take care of them forever. Which is a very fucking scary thing. If the whole next generation just goes, yeah, daddy government, do whatever the fuck you want. That's scary shit. That's what Germany did back in the 1930s.
But the thing is, though, daddy
Nothing
government
would ever become like that, but just saying that is like the extreme. Same thing with Russia. Same thing with China commies.
The thing is, though, daddy government's not taking care of us, though. Like, they're really not, though. Like, it's kind of...
That's my fucking point, bro. But these kids see it that way. They got given a free vaccine. They got given stimulus checks. They didn't have to go to school. They didn't have to go to work. They see it as if shit goes to hell, the government's going to actually care about us. Not fucking true. They said 2 weeks to flatten the curve. I can still ask people on the street about anything with COVID around our age. They don't know. Roman, next time we go out to the bar with our friends, ask them to define socialism and see if they actually can. You know what I'm saying, dude? That's my point here. Because all those people that say voting doesn't matter can't define anything. But they'll also tell you I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican or I'm this, I'm that. Guess what? I'm still a registered Democrat because I think that it makes more sense for me to show that Democrats are voting Republican when I do vote Republican. But that's the way that I do it.
Yeah, see, like, that's kind of, that to me kind of defeats the purpose. Why not just change over? Like, that's kind of dumb.
It's not. Do you know how hard they've made it to change over?
It took me like 5 months.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know how hard they've made it to change over? So you know what it really proves? Because I do have democratic values. That's my original values. However, I don't agree with the Democratic Party, so therefore when I'm a Democrat voting Republican, that shows something to the polls. It actually does. They actually did mention that in Pennsylvania specifically during the last election, that a lot of Democrats were voting Republican. And that shows that the Democrat Party needs to fucking change. That's my point. My point, but again, the crux of my point is that nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. Because nobody in our generation or the ones below us do any research. Prove me wrong. You might be an outlier. I might be an outlier. But I don't think any one of our friends knows anything more than what they see on the television or on TikTok. Be honest with you. And if one of our friends is watching right now, you tell me in chat if you actually know the geopolitics.
I mean, you don't have to necessarily agree with his takes, but it seems to me from the clips that I've seen of him, I think that Dean Withers is a pretty informed dude.
I don't know who the fuck that is. So his information has nothing to do with me because I'm talking about people I see on the street, Roman. I'm talking about the kids I work with. I'm talking about the people that you work with. I'm talking about the people that Crimson works with and Kenobi works with because I know that all of us work with somebody that's at least a little bit younger or has. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the general public, not a figurehead of topic.
Well, what I'll say is that I think that now I can't speak for everybody because I don't know the scope of how young our particular audience is or the scope of how
they should be over 18 because we're an adult show from what it.
We're fucking raunchy as shit. Hell yeah.
I was gonna say they should be over 18 because we should be labeled as an over 18 show. Doesn't mean they can make an over 18 profile, but they should be over 18.
The point that I'm making is
Rolo is starting an OnlyFans soon.
No,
he
actually
no,
wait. Who wants to buy my feet pics?
You guys can buy my finger pictures.
I'll inject bunions just for you.
You're gonna sell pictures of you getting fingered? Wow.
That's
brave,
no.
That's brave.
No. I'm gonna sell finger pictures, and then whenever someone buys it, they can say that they're getting these hands. No, but the the point that I'm making is that I just want to say that that there are a couple of people rolling that are that are our age on both sides of the aisle that have
sure.
that have prominent internet followings.
Right. Those are called outliers.
Yeah, but they have pretty big channels though.
That's totally fine. So does Hassan Piker, and look at this shit. That's what most of these fucking kids are watching, bro. If they're not watching the people that you're talking about, they're watching motherfucking Hassan, dude. And how many of those people that are watching the younger people you're mentioning, what's their demographic? How many of them are actually younger people, and how many of them are actually just older people going, this kid's on it? You got to look at all that. Because they're like for me, bro, I'm the outlier when it comes to watching fucking Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker. They don't have a big audience of younger dudes in their young 20s or young kids in their 20s. That's not a big demographic for them. Whereas Star Wars Theory, most of his are in their young 20s, teenage years. So what's the demographic? That's the question. So is the demographic is it a ton of older people watching a younger guy going, wow, this younger guy or this younger girl is really just popping off and I want to see their career exceed?
Okay, so Dean Withers' demographic is 17 to 28.
Oh, and yo, shout out, dude. What's up, Emily? I think that's my coworker. See, bro, she could talk to you about this exact shit. Her and I have mentioned this at work. Emily, by the way, Emily, by the way, is not. If that is Emily, by the way, we align pretty much middly politically, but like she is on the left, and we talked about this. We have a good time talking about this stuff. Her and I have not even
Base.
just have good conversations. I would like to have Emily
Hello,
on the
comrade.
show. All I got to do,
Hello,
Emily,
comrade.
is send you a link. That's it. That's all you need. But like,
Hello,
so what I'm
comrade.
saying here, Roman,
I'm on
is
my own here.
Emily's a little bit younger as well, so she's a little younger than us. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she's 20 something. But she's about. I know she's in her 20s, but like a year younger than me or 2 years younger than me, something like that. But I bet you that she could also attest to this and just say how many people does she know that are saying things politically that they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about, and they're like all gung ho about the thing they're talking about, but really have no idea.
I mean, like, in fairness, though, that does fall on both sides, though. A lot of people don't know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, there are tons of people on any given subject who will open their mouth and talk shit about things that they have no right to talk about.
Okay, but Roman, you could apply that to fucking Star Wars. I'm talking about like when you're actually going and doing things. When you're showing up to a No Kings protest and you don't even know why you're there. When you're showing up to a Pride rally, you don't even know why you're there. When you're showing up to a Charlie Kirk vigil and you don't even know why you're there. Like that type of shit. The virtue signaling bullshit is what everybody does. But they don't go out and vote. They don't actually go out and do anything for the community. They don't actually try to do anything. They just go out there and make themselves look all big, happy, cool. Bah, bah, bah. Look, I'm here. I'm supporting something, and then they leave because they get their virtue signaling.
So you mentioned the Charlie Kirk thing. So shortly after all that happened, I was working on a job in the Swanky area near me, in the Swanky town near me. And the neighbors next door, we kind of didn't like the next door neighbors of the place we were working for because they were the head of the HOA. And now they had already ratted us out to, the city council because we didn't have a permit for retrofitting this deck. Basically, we weren't doing any new framing or anything. We were literally just replacing old deck boards. You don't necessarily need a permit for that. They didn't like that. They made us get a permit. Okay. Then later on, the mother of the house drags all her kids out to the front yard to stand under the American flag with their TPUSA shirts and take pictures. I'm just like, hey, you are the biggest fucking authority shills, and you're out here talking like this.
Yo, that's crazy, dude. That's absolutely fucking insane.
And the point of hypocrisy I'm pointing out here is that you're going off of all of this all of the same, I guess, talking points as Charlie Kirk. You're going to, use this for clout and everything and talk about how we stand with you. Meanwhile, you're literally ratting your neighbors out because they're changing out their deck boards.
Yeah. That's my whole point is that most of these people, most of these people aren't paying attention to anything actually politically. And not even politically, socio-politically. You're just not there. You're not there, but yet you want to go and show up to all these things and make yourself look like you're out there. How about you just be a good guy? When the election was happening last year. So I'm gonna speak directly to Emily here for a second, since she's in chat. I'm gonna speak directly to you. You should have seen the store when the election was happening. People were getting in legitimate arguments in the fucking fish room because somebody would walk in with a Trump hat on or somebody walk in with a Harris shirt on. And I'm the guy that's in the middle just going hey, yo, we all love fucking fish and lizards, reptiles.
Yeah, come get you a Cambodian log sucker,
Yeah, Cambodian log sucker, bro. I got you. So I agree, but this is actually really interesting right here. Children need to be both sides. There's a reason you need the older to do anything political. And I agree. Here's the thing that I hear from a lot of, actually, it mostly comes from the female side, but I have heard this from men as well. Is that they make bad decisions because their prefrontal cortex isn't developed by the age of 25. And I'm like, but you can vote at 18. They're like, well, yeah, we should still be able to do that. But we can make shitty decisions.
I think we should raise the voting age to 70.
I think we should raise the voting age in general. 25. Yeah, so
well, the whole thing with the U.S. is you used to have to be a property owner to be able to vote.
Because hear me out here. If you can go and fight in a war and die, then you should be able to vote.
Yeah, okay. I also think you should be able to drink.
Who's the one who's fighting? Who's the one who's fighting, Roman? Who are fighting? Who are actually fighting? So therefore, you are actually going back against women's suffrage by saying, like, okay, if you're the one that's out there fighting a war, you should be able to vote. Okay, that's men.
No.
Women don't have combat roles. Women do not have combat roles. They have support roles. If they end up in a combat
situation... Hold on, Holmes. Hold on. You misunderstood my point. I'm saying if 18 is the age that you can, enlist.
Hello.
Oh my God, he's got a tattoo. Let's see. Hold on. We're gonna continue this conversation.
Why do they always send the poor, right, Roman?
Let me see it.
It's not even that. What is that?
It's a D20. It was $40.
$40 for that.
Yeah.
That's
$40 to look like you got fucking shot in the shoulder.
That's a rip.
I could have done that for you for the price of a 45 ACV.
Could have done that for free, homie. $40. $40.
I would have just shot
that.
There's a better.
I could have drawn that for $40. What a ripoff. That's stupid.
Wait, what is it? What is it?
It's a D20.
Oh, it's a D20. Yeah, you can't see that easily. It's bleeding. It's got plasma all over it. I guarantee you.
Yeah, no, I can see the blood.
Did they give you a patch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I was gonna say it didn't look like you.
I like how he hasn't changed his title from Roman's dad's belt from the last time we did all this.
No.
That's how I knew that it was him.
Yeah, dude.
Well, we're talking politics for a minute here.
Oh, good.
Nothing crazy. No, but so.
Wait, did you just get the D20 or did you get something else?
I just got the D20 for now.
Dude, you should do a whole D&D arm.
Since I got the D20 there, I'm gonna see if I can't do all the dice going down my arm.
Well, how about do a half sleeve like me, but do it up here because my half sleeve is gonna fade into Star Wars.
I have to get permission since I'm going in the guard. I got that like here specifically so that the sleeve covers it, and then I have to get like a bunch of permission forms so that I can keep getting tattoos.
Okay, so you need to 100% get an ODST symbol somewhere. You know that, right?
That, and I was gonna go with the 38.
Put that on your butt. You should put that on your butt, Corey.
Wait, the what?
A 38 for like the lucky 38, and then like boss from Republic Commando.
Yeah, I'm getting the 501 here, but I'm getting it in Arabesh.
Okay.
Anyway, Corey, great to see you. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Hey, Christina, what's up, dude?
Hey.
Christina, what's happening?
I got 2. He got 1.
She's forcing me to cook food.
I got a lucky 7, like behind my ear.
Sick.
And then I got a cat like down by my ankle, but I don't think you guys want me to climb on this counter right now to show you a cat.
I actually be very impressed.
Do it. You won't.
You don't have to.
I will.
Oh, she's actually going.
No, you're not climbing on the counter.
Why?
Are we turning into Lil Cal Live here?
No, we're not turning into.
No.
I don't want to turn into Lil Cal Live. All right. Everyone send in $5 on Patreon for her to climb up onto the counter. Or not.
The fucking close-up foot.
It's a cat.
$10 Patreon.
It's covered. You can't see nothing. But yeah.
Why'd you make it full screen?
I didn't do it.
Listen,
I wanted to see.
We got the
I wanted to see the tat. I wanted to see the tat in full, dog. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. How do I get you out of here?
The tat?
Yeah, my foot's in a sock, and my toe looks nasty as hell. So if they want to look at that,
Yo, we got
Crimson.
the rolling foot. Let's go.
Crimson, it's your turn. Let's see
My
your feet.
turn? Hang on. We just got. Oh, Crimson. Music, man.
$10, Crimson.
Fuck.
$10.
I want to continue this conversation.
No, I'm
That's
not
fine.
putting my feet on fucking
I was,
camera, you weirdo. Why do you want to see my
I was
feet?
interrupted.
No. I did it slow. I did it only in solidarity for Christian.
I'm
Okay,
talking about Roman.
so-
I'm talking about Roman. Why does Roman want to see my feet? What the fuck?
I'm just
Roman's over
curious.
here being like, get a tramp stamp and then show me. Just like,
I'm just thinking about the dimensions of your feet, homie. That's
Yeah,
all.
Emily, that'd be cool as
Well,
shit.
you'll find out when I put my foot up your ass, you weirdo.
Fair enough.
tempt him.
Fair enough.
No. This
Not
would
if I don't roundhouse you first. I got one fight left. I got one fight left in me, and I might be saving it for you.
Well, you know what?
Anyway.
Emily, I will be honest. Yo, you got the collarbone for that. You're talking about here.
So
Yeah, like you have the broader shoulders. That would work really fucking well for it. That would be really cool. That would be really cool, actually. What kind of moth, though, is the question. That's the question. Because
before I was
there's many
interrupted.
types of moths. When I was at the wedding last weekend, there was a girl that had, she had a mantis tattoo, a praying mantis.
Mantis, look out.
And the praying mantis had an AK-47 slung over its back.
Oh, okay, that's sick.
Dude, it was
So-
so cool because when her grandfather was in Vietnam, they all got tattoos of praying mantises.
Well, that's sick.
So it's like a
That's-
tattoo for her grandfather. So the praying mantis has a military helmet on, and it has an AK slung above it, or an M16 behind its back. It's pretty
Okay,
cool, dude. I was
so-
like, oh shit, I might have to get a praying mantis tattoo. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, facts.
One of my favorite
So-
animals. I didn't even think about it.
So
Look out.
I wanted to, respond to something that Roland said, but
Yes, please
Um,
do. I want to continue this
so-
conversation here a little bit.
yeah. So okay, so what I was trying to say, Roland, was that you said that they should raise the voting age. Here is my thing. If 18 is the age that you can go and fight in a war, then whatever age that is, then you should also be able to vote. That's my own personal point of view. If you can enlist in the military, then you should also be able to vote.
Question.
That's my view.
Yeah, but also, Roman, that is the current climate. So, I don't really see what the point is there. Yes, that's currently what it is. However,
You said that
we were
they-
just talking
you said
about
that we
how
should
the
raise the-
people voting are retarded.
You said that we should raise the voting age, though. So then, are you for raising the enlistment age then
No,
too?
what I said was most times an argument that I hear coming from predominantly women, but it does come from men. An argument that I hear very often is that, oh, well, I don't make good decisions yet because I'm still learning myself. And I can't make a good decision yet because my prefrontal cortex isn't fully developed until I'm 25. That's what I hear from so many different people. Yet, when I then throw back at them, well, should you then be able to vote beforehand? They say yes. But you can't make good dating decisions or good life choices because your prefrontal cortex isn't developed. But therefore, your argument back is that, well, yeah, but men can fight. So therefore,
Well, what's your voting age then, though?
I
What's your
just told
voting
it
age?
to
Then?
you. I can actually influence the government officials before I can rent a fucking car or a hotel room. You realize that?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing though, because at 18 you can tattoo and pierce your body.
At 16 in Pennsylvania, you can.
No, you would need an adult to sign off.
But most parents would.
Yeah, but I'm saying like to decide to do it yourself without your parents' permission, you just have to be 18.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And you can make permanent changes.
Okay, so
to the
you're for keeping it the same age then. That's just what I wanted to get at.
I'm for keeping it the same age. I'm just for actual education. Like when I hear people say, well, you cannot use the argument of, sorry, my brain wasn't fully developed, so I was a retard when it comes to everything else in life, and then be like, yeah, but I should still be able to vote. So you can't, what I'm saying is it negates the argument of you are not fully cognitively there until you're 25. That's bullshit. That's my point, but that's the point that I hear a lot of people bring up. I'm not saying you shouldn't vote at 18. I'm not saying you should change the voting age. I'm saying if you're going to argue that point, then therefore the voting age needs to be changed. If you're dumb enough that you cannot get into a correct relationship with a person, you can't hold a job, you can't do other things, and your argument is, well, I wasn't mentally developed enough. Well, then you're not mentally developed enough to influence my government.
So let me ask you this. If you were in favor of raising the voting age because you're retarded and 18, should we also then raise the legal drinking age so that you know what you're doing with your body and understand fully the consequences of drinking alcohol?
No, because that's already higher than the voting age.
No, actually, no, because in a lot of different countries, it's still used as medication in a way, which is
right.
Weird. But like it is, so no.
Hold on a second. I still got a couple of margaritas. I'm going to go and medicate.
But what I'm getting at is if someone is in favor of raising the voting age to a higher age because they're not smart enough to do anything with voting or stuff like that, should we not then, in that universe where we raise the voting age, should we not raise the age to consume alcohol too? Because
why would it matter?
No, that's why they raised the cigarette age to 21.
I was going to say, but why would it matter?
Because the argument you're making is that people aren't fully mentally capable of having like
they're gonna drink anyway. Were you at parties, or would you ever go to a friend's house where they were drinking before that? They're gonna drink anyway.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm getting at is if you're going to raise the voting age, would you also then be in favor of raising other things along the same thought process?
I don't think that you would have to raise drinking. I don't think that would matter.
Okay.
I actually don't think that drinking, driving, or anything like that would actually matter. Owning a gun at 18, I don't think any of that would actually matter when it comes to this specific thing. If you're talking about pure cognitive, like, specifically, you're talking about cognitive decline, right? But, like, this, by the way, this is all bullshit. None of it's real. The brain develops between those times. There's no exact date. Yes, as soon as it hits December 31st of like 2025, everybody's brains go bam. Like, no, it doesn't fucking work that way. You don't hit a certain date and just get smarter and just get developed. That's not how that fucking works.
Right.
And to be honest, most of the time in these days, everybody in high school, if you didn't smoke weed once or drink at a party or hit a vape or do whatever, especially with the younger generation than us, you are an outlier, an extreme outlier. And then we can therefore also put in the fact that did you save yourself from marriage at the age of 23 to 25? Probably not. So there's all these different things that factor into this that actually have nothing to do with voting.
So
you can't use any of those other things because none of those other things actually genuinely affect the government. They affect you. They don't affect everybody else around you. They affect you. So, like, if I were to become like a freaking crackhead and disappear into Kensington, the only people affected by that are my friends, family, and the viewers on this show. The government's not affected by that.
Right.
But if I am completely fucking brainwashed and I start voting And I'm telling all of my friends this brainwashed bullshit, and they're not paying attention to anything that's real. They're just believing me. But I'm voting. You see where I'm going with this?
No, I do. So if we're cool with 18 being the right age to enlist,
Well, it was 16 in the 40s, but I 100% agree with what she just said. I feel like when you're 21 versus when you're 18, you're a completely different person.
yeah, no, I agree. But along the lines of changing ages, should we then, if we're willing to let our 18-year-olds go off to war, should we not let them drink alcohol too?
I think we should. Yeah, in fact, in certain states, you can. In Maryland, in Maryland, if you are conscripted into the army at the age of 18, you can bring your army ID, but you are limited to how much you can drink. But you can. At least you could. When I was working with a lot of the Boy Scouts that were down there at one point that were all counselors. They were all like 18, 19, and like 4 of them were in the military. And they were on leave to the scout troop or the scout camp for the summer because they were like doing Boy Scout training. They would go out to the bar every night.
Yeah, right? No, I'm for lowering it to 18 as well. I think that's fair.
It's 16 in England, 14 in Germany.
I'm saying though, I don't know why we have different ages for that. Like, I think it should be one age for everything. Like that's kind of my view. Like
I just find it crazy that you can vote, but not drink alcohol. You can go and fight in a war, but not drink alcohol is crazy.
War. Here's a question for you. Should we not make it a requirement for congressmen and senators, the people who declare war, should we not make it a requirement for them to be prior enlisted? For the people who are going to send our men and women to go die for their wars, should they not be individuals who have they themselves served in the military?
Well, then we run into a different problem. So no, because the other problem that we run into there is that we run into a military government, which is an entirely
we don't want that.
It's an entirely different can of worms and a whole other.
Yeah, exactly. Communists wouldn't like that because people would start throwing them out of helicopters.
Communists don't like what we have going on in
general. People, so we can throw them out of helicopters.
Corey, you can't do that
in Minecraft.
But yeah, no.
As he sharpens a knife. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I can kind of see where Corey, where you're coming from, but let me also do another one. I think that before anyone runs for any position in politics, they have to show if they take super PAC money or if they take lobby money, they have to be transparent so that voters can see who they take their money from. Because technically, people that are running for office don't have to show that. They should, but they're not legally made to, and I think that they should be. That's just my own point of view.
How about if you're running for government office, you can't take PAC money?
Exactly that. Yes.
Only small individual donations.
I'm for that.
But then how do they have all those big parties, Corey?
Better yet, no donations at all. You have to run based off of the money that you have.
But then how would they have all those parties, Corey?
They wouldn't.
Yeah, how would they have their Island Man parties?
We don't have
parties. In fairness, I'm for small dollar donos from middle class people. What I don't like is like when the politicians like, oh, by the way, in order for us to win, you need to donate your last $4 and 94 cents. It's like, no,
broke bitch.
Yeah, I want you
I've literally donated $100 to your campaign. I have to pay rent.
I've never donated a broke boy. I've never donated to a politician, and I never fucking will.
I have.
Never will.
one.
Yeah, I know exactly who you
I
did.
actually donated to some local politicians because they were people in our area that we were familiar with.
It
Well,
was
the local politicians I never had to donate to. I actually just did work with them because I was in scouts with they were very much, at least one of them, two of them were very much involved in like the scout troop and like wanted kids to be involved in nature and Boy Scouts and things like that. And
Are you farting or just
both of which grew up like around the area. They know they've never left the area. They're good people. So yeah, no, I've supported them in different ways. I've never given them money though. But I have
fairness.
I would ever give politicians money.
No, they don't need it. And listen, here, the one of the ones I'm talking about would have told you straight to your face, I don't need it.
In fairness, I
James Ferry was a
thoroughly,
tree.
I full-heartedly believed, and in some ways I still do, believe in the cause that I was fighting for then. And so not only was I on the ground, but I gave up some extra money that, I had. Unfortunately, the libs wanted Biden. So I kind of wasted all of my money. But the point is that I will never in my life, unless I get inspired, I'm not going to give money to any more politicians. Bernie Sanders is the only one, and that'll be it. Because no one else deserves it, frankly. At least, in my eyes. But yeah. You have to really, really believe in your cause. Like, if Crimson ever decides to run for the, troll party, I might throw him like $5 or $10. Like, that's
It's all I need to get my political platform elected. $10 and a crisp high five.
I got the high five for you, buddy.
I can throw 10 at you on Thursday, and then we will be all set. I have to renew my my membership to your channel so that I can see that video, because I'm curious as to like what you're going to do and how you're going to embarrass me to all of yourself.
My man's gonna say he doesn't stay subscribed. Wow.
Yeah, dude. He unsubscribed and the feet pictures are
I just told my iPhone
Okay.
to just pay it every month.
Brother can't afford the $2 a month.
No, so here's this thing. You see,
You see,
I don't have any.
the thing is, all socialists are poor.
I don't have insurance anymore.
Neither do I.
So,
Welcome to the club.
so I'm kind of not in a great financial spot. So, yeah. Anyways, I will be renewing my subscription to Crimson Law on Thursday. Muffler.
Muffler.
I swear to God, there's only so much I can take before I have to jump in every time. How you boys doing?
Well, I just have to make you do it. I have to.
What were you waiting for? What were you waiting for, Muffler?
Well,
I'm curious.
I've got friends in channel, bro. So
He's got friends in low places.
No, but like,
where the whiskey
that's a good
drowns
song.
and the beer chases his blues.
My
away.
blues away.
That was a great song.
But he'll be okay.
Have you more Aunt Crimson? Fuck you. Anyway, so we're talking about voting. How's everybody doing?
Good.
I think I already talked about how I'm depressed and fed up with humanity at this point. So
yeah, the TV reviews thing has been pretty messed up, bro.
That's kind of what started this whole entire conversation here. Because
I'm currently fighting for my life, so yeah, that's why I don't have my camera on.
Okay, well,
I got a question.
Hold
he's
on,
fighting
Corey,
for his
Corey.
life because his big black friend is railing him at the moment.
Corey, give me a second before you hold that thought, because you were not here for what Crimson had to say to start this whole conversation. Crimson, can you bring up the original point about the guy
So basically, a content creator in the anime world found out that his fiance was cheating on him with his best friend of 10 years.
Yep.
And then his entire circle of friends decided to abandon him because they enjoyed playing video games with the other guy more than him. So he basically fell into depression, like, just made some like vague tweets and everything about wanting to end it all, packed himself up in the forever box, bought a bunch of alcohol, drove out in the middle of nowhere, was planning to drink himself until, they packed him up in the forever box. Fortunately, someone made a call, and an officer found him on a wellness check and stopped anything bad from happening. But basically, with the internet, as the internet is, there are a bunch of people who don't like this guy because he openly supported ICE doing their job. And they then proceeded to say he deserved it. You're an awful person. You are Big H from World War II. You're a friend of Jeffrey Epstein.
Which we can say that name now, YouTube. Fuck off.
Oh yeah, sorry about that one.
No, you're fine.
Island.
And
man.
you should have actually gone through with putting yourself into the forever box. Basically, all the most vile, inhumane shit you could think of. That's what the quote tweets in the comments for that shit was.
Yep.
And it's been ongoing, and I'm basically at the point where I've completely lost faith in humanity. And I think we just need to unplug the internet and be done. This little experiment has proven that humanity does not deserve anything. I am not voting for Republicans, Libertarians, or Democrats in the next election cycle. I am voting Giant Meteor 2026. Okay?
Amen.
Giant Meteor 2026.
Well,
actually,
it's funny you say that because there is one barreling its way towards us right now.
Actually,
you all can vote. Sorry, go ahead.
Actually, you all can vote for me because I'll be on the ballot.
If I could reach through the internet,
November.
I would absolutely touch
No,
that
you
pussy.
won't.
Please accept the emotional support cat. She is a
Wait.
for attention.
Roman, we're going to get back to what you just said, but Corey, I just need your response to what the original topic was, which is what Crimson just said. I appreciate that, Christina.
Okay, give me a second to fully explain my response before you jump to conclusions.
Yeah, let's go.
The First Amendment is a beautiful thing. However, there are people who will abuse it and say horrible shit. To where this poor man was at a point in his life where his fiance of who knows how many years got cheated on by said fiance is fucking vile. I hate how that had to happen to him, and I hate everything that everyone has said to him. This poor man was at a very low point in his life, and to wish death upon someone purely for voicing their political opinions and how they feel is the lowest form of social attacks. Anyone who does that should not be allowed outside. If you're going to sit here and be like, oh, Roman, I hate you for XYZ, fucking Crimson, you're smelly.
I get that sometimes, so yeah.
Like,
oh, I hate Roman, but it's just because he's gay.
Like,
and I hate you, but it's because you're, actually, I'm not gonna say that because we're not, too.
Incest is incest, I guess.
We're not 2 hours in yet, so.
But like, if we're gonna sit here and attack each other based off of what beliefs we hold, then we're not gonna fucking get anywhere.
Exactly, and like, that's kind of what I was trying to get at. But my original point is just that, again, the crux of the argument is that there's so many uneducated people out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I got into like whether or not you should be able to vote. Because like when there's women that are out there or men out there saying like, well, I'm not cognitively, like that's your excuse. I wasn't cognitively ready because I'm not 25. Well, then why the fuck are you voting? Like I'm not agreeing with them. I'm saying that that's bullshit. Because I know 18-year-olds that were way more fucking tired. I knew 17-year-olds that could have voted, that were ready. to go cognitively. Yeah, they weren't out there in the field yet, but like those kids were extremely educated. So I get it with the 18 thing, but you can't use that as a fucking crutch.
Agreed.
You're like, oh, well, my brain wasn't developed, so I went and fucked 72 other guys while I was dating my boyfriend.
So,
Like, and you expect these people to fucking vote on politics. That's what I'm saying.
So the thought of it is like, okay, so should we not put an IQ test on top of every government document that we do? Should we not be like, you have to have an IQ test or an IQ score of above 70 before you're allowed to vote or do anything?
No.
I think that you should have an IQ test checked before you should vote. Yes.
That's a bad stance.
Nah.
Is that
No.
right?
That violates your right to vote. No.
No, it's not about violating your right.
It's going to boil down to this is just polling tax. This is the literacy test that they had before that would block like the African Americans who weren't taught to read. So,
well, no, it's not like that. You do realize that homeless people can vote, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's require an IQ.
If you require an IQ test, they're going to be like, you're racist because people of XYZ are not as intelligent. It's like, well,
or they don't.
No, you'll get a disparity where people that think that superior intelligence equals superior skills at governing, and that's not the case. Heinlein brings this up. He brings it up. Read Starship Troopers for the love of God, people, please.
I'll concede that point. That is true. That is true. I might have been incorrect there in that statement.
We were governed by the scientists who deemed certain things illogical, and so we govern. And no, that's not how it works always. Okay, you can't.
No.
But Heinlein was, making fun of fascism in that.
No, he
don't
wasn't.
You know it's all about anti-fascism? The bugs are the good guys.
Oh my God.